All right, so let's say we have a bottle or a container, right? Let's say, and it's got a solution. Now, solution just means liquid, right? And so this is the solution, all that there. And it says a solution of alcohol and water is 80% alcohol. Now, what does that mean? If it's 80% alcohol, what does that mean? Right, more than half alcohol. Good point. So, is it safe to say that some of it is alcohol and some of it is water? Is that clear? Right. Okay. So it's something like this. Like, let's say the red is alcohol. Are we clear on that? Okay. And let's say this is water here, right? Does that make sense? So water, alcohol, and the alcohol is 80%, isn't it? Now, if alcohol is 80%, water is what percent? Because the whole thing is what percent is the entire container? There you go, 100%. So what if you did this? 100% subtract 80%. What do we get? Right. Right. So is it safe to say that whatever is going on, the water is definitely 20%? You okay with that? Great. Okay. Let's see. Then it says the solution is found to contain 32 milliliters of alcohol. So instead of, and then it says how many milliliters total, both alcohol and water, are in the solution. So with these things, I like you guys to just take one sentence at a time. See, the next sentence is the solution is found to contain 32 milliliters of alcohol. All right. So what does that mean then? The solution is found to contain 32 milliliters of alcohol. What does that mean? No, just don't tell me what you have to do and how do I solve it. I'm just asking, what does that actually mean? The solution is found to contain 32 milliliters of alcohol. What does that mean with our diagram here? Just tell me about that. Just tell me about that. Okay, so what it means is that the alcohol is 32 milliliters. The solution is found to contain 32 milliliters of alcohol. The alcohol is 32 milliliters, right? How many milliliters total, both alcohol and water, are in the solution? So now we have to find the total solution, don't we? Because the question is how many milliliters total, both alcohol and water, are in the solution. So we have to find the total amount next, right? Okay. So 80% of the solution is? 20% is? How much alcohol do we have in milliliters? 32 milliliters. So this red amount can be described as 80% of the total. And it can also be described as this is 32 milliliters, the alcohol, right? Not the water. But we have to figure out how much is in the total amount. Like, our question is, how much total? Like, what's the total milliliters, right? All of the milliliters of the whole thing. Does that make sense? Give me a letter that we can call this so we can use some algebra. Or rather this. How about this? 80%, right, of the solution, of the total, of the solution is what? 32. Right, good. It's 32 milliliters. 32 milliliters is 80% of the solution, right? Can you turn that sentence into an equation? Right. 80. Yeah.
Is 32.
Good, good. So 80%, turn that into a decimal, 0.8, right? Of means multiply. You can use S if you like, or X or Y or whatever. I'll just use X for fun. It doesn't matter what letter you use. Is, what's the math for is? Equals 32, right? So that's turning the sentence into an equation. And now we can, how do we solve that? What do we do?
Get x by itself.
Yeah.
Divide by 0.8.
Right, on both sides.
Yes.
And so on the left you get,
You get 32 divided by 0.8.
Yeah.
But you gotta turn the 8 into an actual number.
good, yeah, exactly.
Multiply that by 10.
Oh, very good. Yeah, yeah, very good. You can, if you want to get the, we can't divide by decimals, so we have to turn decimals into whole numbers. So to turn 0.8 into a whole number, you're right, you can actually multiply it by 10. Good point. And 0.8 by 10 gives 8. But if you multiply the bottom by 10, got to multiply the top by 10 so the fraction is the same. So 32 times 10 is? 320. Good. Okay, so 320 over 8 gives what? Just go 8 into 8 goes once, 8 into 32 goes 4, right? And 8 into 0?
Is 0.
Right, so we got 40 over 1, so x equals
X equals
40. Okay, so what does that mean in real life? What's the answer in English?
here's the whole.
Yeah, the whole container, good. Yeah, the whole container is 40 milliliters. So the answer is 40 milliliters is the total solution in the container, right? Good. And does that seem right? Does it seem like we messed up, or does it seem like does that seem correct? Like what if I got that the answer was 4 milliliters? Would that seem correct?
No.
Why? What's wrong with that?
Because of 4 milliliters, it doesn't equal out correctly for the percentage.
Why? But does that make sense in real life? Do you think this whole thing is 4 milliliters when or not? Why? Why wouldn't this whole thing be 4 milliliters?
Because they have 32
Right.
milliliters of alcohol.
Right, 32 milliliters of alcohol, so it's got to be more than 32. The whole thing has to be more than 32. What if the answer you got was 400 milliliters? Would that seem correct?
No.
Why?
I mean, it would be more, but if you would have 32,
Right.
it would still be too much.
Right, exactly. It seems like far too much, doesn't it? Because most of it is alcohol, and that's already 32 milliliters. So we just need a little bit more to get the total amount. So 40 seems right. 400 is way too much, right?
Yeah.
How much water is there?
Let's see. So what we could do would be 32 minus 40.
Right. Yeah, 40 minus 32, and that would be what? That'd be 8 milliliters, right?
Yeah.
And these add to 40, right? So that makes sense. 8 milliliters of water, 32 of alcohol. This is 20% of the total. That's 80%, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Good. And you can even check it, like if you did something like this. How about 20%, 0.20 times the total times 40, okay? So that's like 40 times 0.2 gives what? 2 times 0, 0. 2 times 4 is 8. And I need to move over this to here. Yep. And so 20% of the total gives us 8, right? And that makes sense. There's a 20% of the total amount is 8 milliliters, right? Good.